Welcome to The Explainer. You've heard it a million times, right? Watch out for fake news. But what does that even mean anymore? The term has gotten so messy. Today, we're going to cut through the noise, get past the buzzword, and really understand why this stuff spreads, and more importantly, what we can actually do about it. So, just how big is this problem? Well, let's start with this number. A major study looked at the months leading up to the 2016 election and found that the average American adult was exposed to between 1 and 3 stories from known fake news sites. Now, that might not sound like a huge number for one person, but think about it. Multiply that across millions and millions of voters, and you start to see the scale of the problem. And here is where we hit our first roadblock. The term fake news itself has become part of the problem, hasn't it? It's been so weaponized by all sides to just dismiss any story we don't like. It's kind of lost all meaning. So, to actually understand what's going on, we need a better framework. We have to ditch the vague label and get a lot more precise. So let's start by putting a proper name to it. Instead of fake news, experts who study this stuff prefer to talk about something called the information disorder.
It's all about moving beyond that unhelpful label.
So what is information disorder? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like pollution, but for our information environment. It's not just one thing. It's a whole spectrum of bad information that dirties up everything. And we can break it down into 3 distinct types. Okay, so here are the 3 types. First, you've got misinformation. This is when false stuff gets shared, and this is the key, the person sharing it doesn't mean any harm. Think of your aunt sharing a rumor she genuinely believes. Then you have disinformation. This is the nasty stuff. It's lies that are created and spread specifically with the intention to hurt someone or something. And finally, there's malinformation. This one's tricky. It's when genuine information, like a private email, is leaked and shared, again, with the intent to cause harm. You see, the crucial difference across all 3 is the intent behind it. Let's make this super clear. Imagine there's a chaotic breaking news event. You share a rumor you think is true because you're trying to help people get information quickly. That's misinformation. It's a mistake. Now compare that to someone deliberately creating a fake website from scratch to spread a damaging lie about a political candidate right before an election. That is pure disinformation. Getting that distinction is the first real step to seeing this problem clearly. Now, you might be thinking this all feels like a very new, very 21st century problem, but really, it isn't. Disinformation is an old game. It's just that modern technology has put it on rocket fuel. Let's take a quick trip back in time. All the way back in 44 BC, the Roman leader Octavian ran a smear campaign against his rival Mark Antony by stamping short, slanderous insults on coins. I mean, come on, those were basically ancient tweets. Fast forward to the 1400s, Gutenberg's printing press arrives, and suddenly propaganda can be mass-produced for the first time. In 1835, a major newspaper, the New York Sun, straight up tricked its readers with a series of articles claiming scientists found life on the moon. And today, well, social media has taken this entire history and put it on steroids, spreading lies at a speed and scale that was literally unimaginable before. So, if this has been happening for centuries, why do we keep falling for it? Well, here's the uncomfortable truth. It's because our own brains are wired to cooperate with the lies. The problem is partly inside our own heads. Just look at this statistic from 2016 because it tells you everything you need to know about our online behavior. Researchers found that almost 60%, nearly 6 out of 10 news links shared on Twitter, were passed on by people who never even clicked to open the article. We're reacting to the headline, not the actual story. And that's a massive clue about how our brains process information. And that impulse, that knee-jerk reaction to share without reading, it boils down to a fundamental truth about our minds. Our brains are built for efficiency, not accuracy. Think about the fire hose of information hitting you every single day. To cope, our brains have to take shortcuts or heuristics. They're great for making fast decisions, but they're terrible for judging complex information. And that leaves us vulnerable to manipulation. So here are the brain's biggest weak spots. First, there's repetition. See a claim enough times and your brain starts to think, hey, I've heard that before, it must be true. Then there's processing fluency. If something is simple, catchy, maybe it rhymes or has a nice photo, it's just easier for our brain to handle, and our brain mistakes that ease for credibility. Third is coherence. If a new claim fits neatly into a story we already believe about the world, we're way more likely to accept it without question. And the big one, identity. We are biologically wired to trust information from our in-group, our team, our tribe, and to believe things that reinforce that identity. And what happens when you combine all these mental shortcuts with social media? Well, lies literally outrun the truth. A landmark study in the journal Science found that on Twitter, falsehoods reach 1,500 people about 6 times faster than true stories do. 6 times. And why is that? Because false news is often way more novel, more emotional, more surprising. It's designed to hit those buttons in our brain that scream, "Share this now." Okay, I know, the problem's huge and our brains seem to be working against us. It is easy to feel discouraged. But the story absolutely does not end there. This is the part where we talk about fighting back. Let's get into the solutions and how you can build your own mental immunity. The entire foundation for fighting back is something called Media and Information Literacy, or MIL. And this isn't some boring class. Think of it as a crucial life skill for the 21st century. It's the practice of thinking critically about every single thing you see, create, and share. It's about becoming an active navigator of information, not just a passive consumer. So, what does this look like in the real world? It can be as simple as building a 4-step mental habit. Before you react, before you share, just pause and ask yourself. 1. Who is the source? Are they legit? 2. Read beyond the headline. You know headlines are designed to provoke you. What does the actual story say? 3. Is there supporting evidence? Are other reliable places reporting this? If not, that's a huge red flag. And 4, maybe the most important one, check your biases. Am I believing this just because I want it to be true? That last step, that's a superpower. Now, beyond just fact-checking, there's an even more proactive defense, and it comes from this fascinating psychological concept called inoculation theory. The idea is brilliant. Just like a medical vaccine uses a weakened virus to teach your body how to fight it off, we can build mental immunity by exposing ourselves to a weakened version of a manipulative argument before we encounter the real thing out in the wild. You basically pre-bunk the lie by learning the tricks of the trade ahead of time. And you can actually do this. Seriously. Researchers have developed these amazing online games based on this exact theory. In a game called Bad News, for instance, you get to take on the role of a fake news creator. You learn the tactics of manipulation using emotional language, impersonating people, pushing conspiracies. And by learning how to do it yourself, you become so much better at spotting those tactics when they're used on you. You get vaccinated against them. It's an incredible way to turn the tables. So really, this is the question we're all left with. In this endless ocean of information, are we just going to be passive floaters, carried along by the currents of algorithms and outrage? Or are we going to become critical navigators, using the tools we have to chart a course toward the truth? The choice is ours. Thanks for watching.